guys, it's Britt tonight. We're here to talk about a few different things that I've come across over the last couple of days. I figured that we could do another little mashup of miscellaneous topics. But either way, I will put timestamps down below as I have been doing as of lately. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so as a total side note, I'm just including this because I just came across it in my notes of miscellaneous things to do with my channel. The stay-at-home mom video that I mentioned maybe a week or so ago is still in the works. I am going to film that. It will be an isolated video. It will be up soon, and I'm going to talk about just this entire topic and why I think that there are some really obvious problems with, making that your making that the decision that you go with, but I'm going to approach it with grace and compassion and understanding, and hopefully we can have a conversation about it. So that is in the works. But either way, let's move on to first things first. Of course, we have to talk about Miss Gypsy Rose. She put out a video today and it has a lot of people talking. She is advocating for Amelia Bird, and she shares Amelia's story, which is eerily similar to her own, and she is encouraging people to get in contact with Amelia, advocate for Amelia, and I just think this whole thing is very interesting. Number one, she has comments turn back on her TikTok, which they were off there for a while, as I noted in other videos. I think that this is just a bad look. I don't think that Gypsy Rose understands what advocacy looks like. I don't understand if she understands what being an ally to the right people looks like, and it's concerning to me. It is very concerning. I have seen a pattern of red flags exhibited from her directly, and I think that you can be somebody who supported her and acknowledges that what she went through was egregious and inexcusable. And Dee Dee Blanchard is an absolutely awful individual. But you can also do that while simultaneously acknowledging that there have been many things that Gypsy Rose has done herself since her release that are extremely alarming. And I think this video that she put out has a lot of people saying, what the hell is this, for good reason. In this video, she goes on to say how there's no evidence, even though she was convicted. Here's the whole thing. Like, if there is literally no evidence, then how did they end in conviction? I realize that does happen sometimes. The United States justice system is extremely flawed and far from perfect, but I think that this video left a lot of people with more questions than it did answers, and it continues to prove that she is just going to continue to post red flags, and us as the internet are going to continue to call them out, respond to them, and have a conversation about them, because as a friendly reminder, she chose to make herself a public figure. She could have literally said, you know what, I'm a free person as of right now. I want to live my life in peace, and maybe in a couple of years I will come back and do real advocacy work. But she has chosen to just totally derail and put it out for everybody to pick apart and give commentary on.
My name is Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and I would like to introduce you to one of my very good friends. This is Amelia Bird. She was only 16 years old when she was arrested with her then boyfriend in connection with her crime. And with no other evidence stacked against her except for the testimony of the then boyfriend, Amelia is now serving 2 life sentences, run consecutive, at the Chillicothe Correctional Center for Women in Missouri. In January of 2006, authorities arrived at the home of Christina Bird, William Bird, and Amelia Bird, where they found Christina Bird had been fatally shot and William Bird had been seriously wounded. Amelia Bird and her then boyfriend, Chad Brentley, was both taken into custody and questioned for the crime. While Amelia maintained her innocence in claiming that she had absolutely no idea that her then boyfriend was going to commit this crime, Chad Brentley, however, pointed the finger at Amelia and claimed that she is the one that asked him to commit the crime. So essentially what we have is a situation that boyfriend breaks into girlfriend's parents' home, commits an act of violence against girlfriend's parents, and so authorities start to wonder what could be a possible motive for this. As they are going through the case and as Amelia and Chad are awaiting trial, it starts to develop that there seems to be a situation of abuse going on in the home with Amelia's father. Authorities begin to kind of piece things together, and so Chad fully relies on this story that Amelia asked him to commit this act in order to get Amelia away from her parents. While Chad is awaiting trial, prosecutors are beginning to push heavily on Amelia to accept a plea bargain to second-degree homicide that comes with a prison term of 2 life sentences ran consecutive. Life is calculated in the state of Missouri at 30 years, so essentially she took a plea bargain to 60 years in prison. They were able to push that on her because the prosecution told Amelia that if she didn't accept the plea bargain, they were going to seek the death penalty in this case. It is actually not legal to seek the death penalty on a juvenile, which, keep in mind, she was only 16 years old when this case happened. And her co-defendant is still awaiting trial at this point. Amelia, now having spent roughly 2 years in county jail awaiting her trial, accepts the prosecution's deal to second-degree homicide, which carries a prison term up to 30 years imprisonment, and they actually sentenced her to 2 life sentences, so 60 years, while Chad pled out to 4 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Keeping in mind there was no evidence against Amelia other than Chad's testimony against Amelia that she is the reason why he committed the crime. Amelia Bird is now 34 years old and is currently serving her sentence at the Missouri Department of Corrections in Chillicothe, Missouri. So why am I sharing Amelia's story with you? It is because she, like so many incarcerated individuals, have a voice that is silenced by stone walls and a story not yet fully told. Unfortunately, since I am under parole supervision, I can't communicate with Amelia at this time. However, that doesn't make me any less her friend or advocate for her freedom any less. If you believe in her freedom and her cause, please write the Missouri governor on her behalf. And if you would like to communicate with Amelia herself, write her through Securus Technologies. I'll have all of that information below this video.
Next, I want to provide a quick update on World of T-Shirts. Now, World of T-Shirts, Joshua Block, I did recent videos on him as of a couple weeks ago, and he is somebody who just, as I've said in other videos, I think he is a good guy going through a really bad situation right now. And he was recently filmed. It looks like he's on a plane, and he says that he is an alcoholic.
I'm an alcoholic.
You gotta get that sorted, yeah.
I'm an alcoholic. I'll never be able to get sober.
Yes,
I can't go.
No, you can't.
I'm gonna fucking die.
Don't say that, yo. You're not gonna die. Come on.
What flavor you got? Peppermint?
You don't mind, right?
I'm an alcoholic.
No, don't say that. It's alright.
It's-
Don't say that. You
The
mind if I get a
chino's
picture
going
of you?
straight to the bicep.
I can't go for more than a few hours without needing a drink.
Oh, it's
I'm an
You
alcoholic.
You gotta get that sorted,
yeah.
I'm an alcoholic. I'll never be able to get sober.
He also went on a podcast recently that had a lot of people talking. I chose not to do a video on that just because I felt like it wasn't really needed, in my opinion. But this clip I did find interesting, and at the same time I felt it equally heartbreaking to hear the words from his own mouth that he is an alcoholic and he cannot go more than a few hours without having an alcoholic beverage. It confirmed that my initial concerns were very valid, and I continue to think about Josh. I'm not going to make, 74 videos on the guy because I just don't think that that's needed. But he is somebody who I think about, and I really hope that he can get the help that he obviously needs. And just hearing him talk about it in this clip, to be frank, it almost made me cry. I hope that he gets the help that he needs. Now, I also want to talk about this trend that is going around on TikTok. I know, the dreaded words, a trend going around on TikTok. It seems like usually when I talk about a trend going around on TikTok, it has something to do with anything bad. Anything bad, tacky, distasteful, exploitative, throw it in the bin of it was a trend on TikTok. I will not be able to play these videos with sound because there's a specific song that people are using with this trend, and I just don't feel like dealing with that right now. But the caption is usually something along the lines of, make sure you remember these moments because according to Trace Adkins, I'm going to miss this. And it's their children in car seats having tantrums. So here's the thing. I know that a lot of people are stating the obvious of, why is this content? It's tacky, it's weird. What I would like to say is I do personally believe, and I could be completely wrong on this, I do think that we are sort of at this pivotal moment because this trend peaked late last year. I do think that we are at this pivotal moment where these types of videos are no longer able to be published and just get a bunch of haha, oh, that's so funny, hashtag relatable. I think that we are moving past that. And I think that after years of people talking about don't overshare your kids online, don't overshare temper tantrums, don't overshare meltdowns, don't tell people where your kids go to school, these types of things constantly being called out for multiple years back to back, I do think that we're finally at a point where parents and caregivers are no longer able to share this type of tough content without being widely criticized and called out by whatever platform they're posting it to. And here's the thing. I am obviously not a parent to human children, but I can say I have worked with kids, and I don't know that anybody would necessarily miss a child or children being so visibly upset that they are crying to the point where they cannot breathe. I don't know that that is a point in any person's life where they say, you know what, I miss my child or my niece or whoever, literally crying so hard that they were hyperventilating in a car seat in the back of my car. That's a little weird to me. Tell me how y'all feel about it down below. But I think that this content is, it was very short-lived. I think that it had its moment where people would kind of allow it to fly under the radar and, move on to the next thing. But I think that the conversation of oversharing, exploitation, and just overall problematic content is growing for good reason, and I am here for it all day long. I will forever stand on the side of the street that is, you don't need to bully these parents. Don't bully them, don't call them names, and don't talk to them like, you're in middle school on the playground trying to come up with your most crazy insult and you call them, ugly. I do think that having an elevated conversation about it is vital, and I'm glad to see that part of the conversation growing. As my last update, I would like to say that the video that I did the other day about the Memphis mom who was allowing her child to wax Brazilian bikini wax adults, that mother was arrested. So I did link that in a pinned comment on that video. So if y'all are following that story and you did not hear, she has been arrested. So go check out that article if you are interested in reading more. But nevertheless, I think that's enough for tonight. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.